What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. I hope you're all doing very well. I need to apologize in advance. I do not have my scarf on me. I didn't have it on my stream last night either. We were in the middle of moving, of course, and things get lost. Not lost, but it's just back at the old place. So I'll go get it, and we'll have it. We'll have it soon. Don't worry. The scarf is not gone forever. I just don't have it on me right now, so unfortunate. But that's not why you're here. We're talking about Warrior, particular Fury Warrior, and I'm going to do a single target build for you for Raid. So we're going to talk about defensives and healing and all that kind of stuff that's on like the class side of the tree and the actual spec side of the tree as well, including things like Second Wind. And then we'll talk about the build that I want to try and kind of show you guys today. And I am labeling it the Craunchy Blow build. Now, I know it's going to sound funny to you guys, but we haven't really been able to take Reckless Abandon for a while now because it's competed with things like anger management, which is very, very, very good. And anger management, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly strong. But what's really cool about Reckless Abandon now, it transforms Bloodthirst and Raging Blow into it transforms Raging Blow into Crushing Blow, but we call it Craunchy Blow because we're cool. And this build essentially has you just pressing Craunchy Blow repeatedly. Now, the reason that we can get away with that is because Odin's Fury and Titan's Torment also end up triggering additional Reckless Abandon procs for us. And we're going to get to all that in a minute, but that's the only real reason why this build works the way that it does. And I'm going to show it for you in a second. So let's talk about it. So, first of all, how do we survive in the raid? As a Fury Warrior, what tools are we gaining to help us live in the raid when things are getting hairy? And honestly, Fury Warrior has even more tools than Arms Warrior. And somebody said in my comments yesterday about the Arms Warrior video that they got defensive stance already in their class tree. And that is true. In Shadowlands, you can take defensive stance, and realistically, you would want to. However, it competed in Shadowlands. It competes with other talents like Second Wind and Bounding Stride. So you're losing mobility or you're losing additional healing in order to get defensive stance. And now, my big point for Arms Warrior was that now you get all three in Dragonflight. So the power is going way up there. Like your defensive power is going up immensely. So what defensives does Fury Warrior have? Well, of course, we get defensive stance, and Fury Warrior, unlike Arms Warrior, has never even had defensive stance as a choice. It wasn't in the talent tree for Fury Warrior until now. So now you get a 20% DR whenever you want it. It's insanely good. Just 20% damage reduction whenever you want it. It's just like absolutely incredible. You can combine that with Enraged Regeneration over here, which is 30% damage reduction and extra healing. We'll get to that in a minute, but you get 30% damage reduction plus 20% plus another 10% from Warpaint. So you could literally have 20, 30, 60% DR if you're enraged while you have Enraged Regeneration on and while you have defensive stance on. I realize it's kind of a tall order there, but the point is, you can always have 20% DR if you want, and then you have an on-demand 30%, and then you're enraged. Basically, you're likely to be enraged quite a bit with this build. As you can see, my enrage uptime was 92% on this last fight that I just did. So, realistically speaking, Warpaint's going to be on all the time. If instead you want to get Invigorating Fury, you can do that. But defensive-wise, you've got defensive stance, Enraged Regeneration, Warpaint. Down here, we've got Reinforced Plates for more armor. That gives you a little bit more damage reduction, of course. And then you have Spell Reflect as your main magic mitigation, giving you 20% magic DR, and you get to reflect a spell. So remember, I talked about in the Arms Warrior video that this is a buffed version of Spell Reflect compared to what we have had historically. Historically, we've had the Spell Reflect where you get 20% mitigation against spells and magic damage, until you reflect a spell, and then it drops the 20% DR. So, like, if you pop Spell Reflection and you reflect a spell immediately, you don't have 20% DR anymore. In Dragonflight, you will. So you pop your Spell Reflection, you reflect a spell immediately, and you will still have 20% DR for 5 seconds. So very, very good that way. Now, What do we have for healing and recovery? Well, of course, Fury Warrior is even better at this than Arms Warrior is, but we're gaining additional tools. So you get Impending Victory. You still get Impending Victory, which is absolutely insane. 30% of your maximum health. It scales with your maximum health. It's really, really, really good. Additional tools that we're getting over here. 5% leech here and 5% more leech here because we're going to be dual wielding, right? So you get 10% leech at all times as a Fury Warrior. My healing done. Oh, that's when I was tanking. I'll have to look at another one, but 10% leech is no joke. Plus Impending Victory is really, really good. Plus you get Second Wind. As I was saying before, this used to compete with other talents. Even for Fury, it competed for like Bounding Stride and stuff, and an old school charge talent. Now you get Second Wind, which is a lot of healing if you're not taking any damage. Really, really good. Then there's a new cooldown, Bitter Immunity. Restores 20% health instantly, removes all disease, poison, and curses. Very good. It is a long cooldown, but it's still an on-demand, removing all the diseases and poisons and stuff is really the main thing there. And then you can get Pain and Gain. Whenever you take damage, you heal for 4.5% of your maximum health. Also very strong. On top of that, Fury just has Bloodthirst, which heals you for 3% of your health all the time. Enrage Regeneration increases that to 23%. Enrage Regeneration gives you a flat 20% additional health gained percentage-wise. It's 20% more health gain when you press Bloodthirst. It's not giving you 20% of 3%. It's giving you 23% when you press Enrage Regeneration, which is really, really good. And that's it for the healing. But absolutely insane amounts of healing. 10% leech, 6% of your health every second when you're now not taking damage. Impending Victory for an on-demand heal. And then you have the Bloodthirst consistent healing that's coming out all the time when you're pressing it. And it's buffed even further with Enrage Regeneration. You could take Invigorating Fury if you want Enrage Regeneration to last longer and to get another instant heal. But I think Warpate's probably better. Bottom line is, defensives and healing-wise, Fury Warrior is absolutely insane in a raid environment, and you're going to be perfectly fine. You're not going to have any trouble surviving whatsoever. On top of that, you have two number of charges goes up by 1, so you have 2 charges to get in. You do have Bounding Stride to give you movement speed after you press Heroic Leap. Lots and lots of mobility. And then for your utility, raid-wise, you can still pick up Rallying Cry, and you still have Battle Shout. Right? So you've got everything you want. The reason that the raid is bringing you potentially is because of that damage amp from Battle Shout. You still have Rallying Cry to help your team, and now you are tankier than you have ever been before in your life, and you have all kinds of extra healing to boot. So Fury Warrior, it's safe to say, is going to be, basically you shouldn't be dying as a Fury Warrior. If you do, it's definitely on you. You have so many choices here to keep yourself alive. So I don't think you can ever really blame the healers if you do end up dying. Now, let's look at the build. So, what is this build all about? As I said before, it's about Raging Blow, which actually turns into Crushing Blow, but we're going to call it Craunchy Blow. We're taking Reckless Abandon. Recklessness generates 50 rage and greatly empowers Bloodthirst and Raging Blow. Now, you pop Recklessness, it turns into Craunchy Blow. Those crushing blows that I was talking about do an incredible amount of damage, and you can see right here on the chart here, Crushing Blow is our highest damage. It's 32% of our damage is just Crushing Blow, okay? Now, I don't know why it registers twice. I believe it's because it strikes with both weapons. If you read the tooltip here, charge the enemy and strike with a Mighty Blow with both weapons, dealing a total of 17,000, almost 17,000 physical damage. So I believe that's why it registers that way. The regular Raging Blow just says a Mighty Blow. Well, it also says a Mighty Blow with both weapons. So I'm thinking that the 2 different Crushing Blows are because of the talent setup that I have going here. So here's the additional ways in which you will trigger Crushing Blow. So Crunchy Blow. Sorry, I got to make sure I'm saying it right there. So Rampage has a 20% chance to grant you Recklessness for 4 seconds. When you're granted Recklessness in this way, you do in fact get the transformation from regular Raging Blow into Craunchy Blow. So that's really, really good. So this is the consistent way that you're going to be pressing Craunchy Blow all the time. Odin's Fury has an additional talent under it that says Odin's Fury enrages you and then greatly empowers Raging Blow, in this case, Craunchy Blow, for 6 seconds. So it's going to give you Craunchy Blow as well, and it's actually going to give you a double damage Craunchy Blow. Instead of it doing like 16,000, it does just over 30,000 damage, so it's almost double. On top of that, over here, we have Titan's Torment. Activating Avatar casts Odin's Fury. And Odin's Fury, as we just said, is going to give us this super Crunchy Blow. So now we have Recklessness giving us Crunchy Blow, Odin's Fury gives it to us, and Avatar gives it to us because its Avatar gives us Odin's Fury. So we have 3 different casts on demand that are going to give us Crunchy Blow, and we have the consistent Rampage always having a chance to give us Crunchy Blow whenever we press it. On top of that, Recklessness is going to last even longer when we press it, which we want to be in Recklessness longer because we want to have Crunchy Blow uptime to be very, very high because, of course, it ends up doing a ridiculous amount of damage, okay? That's the main kind of chunk of the build there. On top of that, we have some extra damage just coming from Thunderous Roar. I did experiment going over here to get, like, Cruel Strikes and get Spear of Bastion, but then I ran into the realization that this talent right here, Wild Strikes, is incredibly strong. Haste increased by 2%. Auto attack critical strikes increase your auto attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. Look at the uptime that I had on Wild Strikes. I had 65% uptime on Wild Strikes. That means my auto attack speed was 20% faster for more than half the fight. That's outrageous. That's a really, really good thing to have. When your auto attack speed, when you're dueling two-handers, your auto attack speed being that high is really, really good. So, especially with things like War Machine, auto attacks generate more rage. It's just incredibly strong. So, let's look at the build. Let's show it off in action. Okay? You're going to start out with charging in, of course, and then you're going to pop Odin's Fury right off the bat to get your Crunchy Blow going. Okay, and you want to make sure whenever you trigger these little tiny windows, these Crunchy Blow windows, you want to make sure you're pressing it as many times as you can because it does so much damage. It does even more damage than Rampage most of the time. On top of that, we actually do have this Slaughtering Strikes is very, very significant. Raging Blow, or Crunchy Blow in this case, every strike causes your next Rampage to deal 20% more damage. So every time we press this button, Rampage does 20% more damage, stacking up to 5 times, which is really good. So here's what it's going to look like, okay? Let's do this. See how it changes the icon? So the icon's different there. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to go into our cooldown. We just want to press Crunchy Blow as much as we can. We don't want to overcap Rage, of course, but we want to be pressing it as much as we can. When we're in this window, you know, you want to... Now I'm going to pop Avatar. It's going to give me Crunchy Blow again. Man, we're back into our regular rotation now. We're just hoping for Rampage to give us a proc. Got a sudden death proc there. Okay, here we go. Rampage gave us a proc. 1, 2, 3 Crunchy Blows from the Rampage. Really good. Odin's Fury is back. We're going to press that. Crunchy Blow again. Crunchy Blow, Crunchy Blow. There we go. Anytime you trigger Odin's Fury, you want to make sure that you're pressing that Crunchy Blow. It does so much extra damage. And then every single Rampage, you're hoping... There, we got a proc. We got a proc right there. 1, 2, 3 Crunchy Blows within the Rampage window. You can always get 3 of them off. I'm trying not to cleave any of my damage. That's why I'm kind of moving like I am. Rampage didn't get a proc there. That's okay. We keep digging for one. Our cooldowns are coming back. Rampage again. Didn't get a proc. That's okay. We keep looking. Okay, we've got Odin's Fury coming back. So we're going to get a guaranteed proc right there with Odin's Fury. Oh, we got a proc right there. Crunchy Blow. Crunchy Blow. Crunchy Blow. Into Odin's Fury. Crunchy Blow. Rampage. Crunchy Blow. Rampage again. Into Crunchy Blow. Okay, now we have real Recklessness. Let's do that. There we go. Crunchy Blow. See how our damage goes back up there once we get back into this window. And if we press Rampage, we can get extensions on Recklessness. Because Rampage has a chance to give us Recklessness, right? So, you can see I've actually extended it a couple times already. And anytime you're staying in this window, you're just doing ridiculous amounts of extra damage. Okay, it's over. We're going to press Avatar. So we're into Craunchy Blow again. There we go. Do this. There we go. That's basically the entire build right there. You're basically just bouncing between Recklessness and Craunchy Blow. Or, we got a proc right there. 1, 2, 3. Back into Rampage. 1. Back into Odin's Fury. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, we're out of it now. But there you go. You can see we're settling around 40k. Around 41k if we had gotten maybe a couple more procs. But you are relying a little bit on getting those procs from Rampage. You are really hoping that Rampage gives you that proc, okay? Which is obviously coming from Unbridled Ferocity. So you're really hoping that Rampage procs Recklessness because it'll give you the Craunchy Blow. But even if you don't get it, there are multiple other ways to create the Craunchy Blow effect. You have Recklessness, which gives it to you. Odin's Fury gives it to you. Avatar gives you Odin's Fury, which gives it to you, okay? Also, Odin's Fury gives you Avatar, which is very, very good. So anytime you press Odin's Fury, you're doing 20% more damage, okay? Anytime you press Avatar or Odin's Fury, you're doing 20% more damage. But let's look at the breakdown once again. It'll be very similar, I would assume. Crushing Blow is here. The other Crushing Blow is down here. So again, almost 32% of our damage was Crushing Blow or Craunchy Blow, of course. Raging Blow is up there because that's what we're pressing. That's the button that we're pressing. Rampage is up there doing 26% of our damage. Odin's Fury doing a surprising amount of damage, actually. 1.4 plus 1.9, that's about 2.3%. And then 3.7, that's 6% of our damage, just coming from Odin's Fury, which is really great. Now, the real reason we have Odin's Fury is to give us Craunchy Blow. So the fact that it's doing 6% of our damage just by itself is actually a really, really big deal for us. So that's the build, guys. It's incredibly simple. You press Raging Blow, and then you try and create windows where you have Craunchy Blow as much as possible. Let me just sum it all up for you again. You charge in. You can pop Odin's Fury or Recklessness right away if you want, but Odin's Fury gives you Avatar, right? So probably want to do Odin's Fury to get it on cooldown right away. So you charge in. Odin's Fury, you've got Craunchy Blow, you go Craunchy Blow, Craunchy Blow, Craunchy Blow, because you have a small window there. Then you go Rampage, and you're trying to make Rampage give you Recklessness again to have Craunchy Blow come back. Then you're going to pop Recklessness, go into the real Recklessness window where you have Craunchy Blow going on, and then when you're done with that, you can go into Avatar if you want to. And I think you should space them out that way because that guarantees that you have a higher uptime on Craunchy Blow. If you blow all these cooldowns at the same time, then you're doing way too much overkill. You're actually overlapping the number of times when you could have Craunchy Blow up. So you need to do Odin's Fury, wait till the buff wears off, then do Recklessness, wait till the buff wears off, then do Avatar, wait till the buff wears off, and then, you know what I mean, you can rinse and repeat there. So let me see what we had in terms of uptime. So our Enrage uptime was very similar there, 90% instead of 92%. Wild Strike uptime was even higher, 72% versus whatever, 60, 64, 62 that it was last time. So Sudden Death uptime was really high because I don't think I was pressing it. So that is one problem I got to get better at doing. But in a real raid scenario, you would be consuming this much more often. But that's the build, guys. That is the Craunchy Blow Fury Warrior single target raid build. I think it's really good. 40k sustained on a single target is actually fine. Like, I know there's lots of builds in raid where they spike up to like 80k off the cuff, but then they eventually come down over the course of the fight. This just does 40k sustained damage no matter what, basically. And this is me in item level 384. It's not super great. I'm not in item level 4. I'm not item level 400 or anything. You know, it's not that crazy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about Fury Warrior. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I think this build is really great. It's a lot of fun to play. It's very simple to execute, and I think it gets the job done. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.